Hey everyone, welcome. Say hi, Crystal.
Hello. What's this drink? Jeez.
No drinks allowed. All right, so we are live today, guys. Today we are going to do just a fun little chit chatty, reading Reddits and giving our opinions on things. So we are doing the Am I the Asshole? And honestly, this will probably not be the only time we do this because these are very fun to do.
Mm.
And apparently they have another one. Someone I heard about. It's like, am I a Karen or something like that? So maybe we'll do those in the future as well. But so let's start. Yeah. So our first one, again, I have not reread. I have not reread. I have not read through these
Share the
yet.
screen and we
So
can go down them.
do what?
Share the screen and we can go down them.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Then we can share the screen. Thank you. That's a good idea.
And we can just read them down.
All right, so we're gonna share this.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. All right, so again, I have not read through any of these. This is literally the first one I pulled up once we went to Reddit.
Blind react.
So yes, blind reaction, honest opinions. So this one is, am I the asshole? A woman demanded info on my condition, so I asked her extremely personal questions. I, 49 female, was at a state fair yesterday, and this woman near me came over and demanded info about my medical condition. Long story short, I'm paralyzed and the broad roughly the broad band and down. I use a power wheelchair and have a service dog. I usually don't mind educating people about paralysis, access issues, and chatting about my dog, but this woman, my dudes, she was rude, abrasive, and demanding. She acted like she was entitled to my personal medical history. She didn't even ask politely. She demanded to know how it happened, what the results were, if I tried X, Y, Z treatments, you name it. She even wanted to know about my sex life. Just seriously. Who asks the stuff of a literal stranger, unfortunate enough to be eating delicious fair food at the table area? I just stared at her in shock as my delicious deep fried barbecue got cold. So I so I smiled as politely as I could manage, and this is where I may have been the asshole. I started to ask her about her last GYN visit.
Oh.
Were the stirrups too high? Did she have to do that awkward shimmy scoot down the table? If the speculum was cold, if the pap smear hurt, the usual. If she felt entitled to my answers, I should be entitled to hers, right? Well, she threw an absolute fucking fit, started screaming and yelling that I was gross and a pervert, and on and on and on. Her group tried to claim, I'm sorry, her group tried to calm her down, and one of them told me I should have just been polite and answered her questions. As
Mhm.
far as I could tell, this woman wasn't impaired in any way. She didn't have a care or minor. She was with a group of friends and had been carrying in normally with them until she saw me. I got to the table, asked if the space was free, and set up and at the end of the table and set up at the end of the table because my chair fits neatly on the end of one piece picnic benches. I told the group that if she wanted my personal and private medical information, then she should trade info for info. Two of the people called me an asshole when they left, trying to calm down their nearly hysterical friend as they left. She was still screaming and shouting how I was a perv, cruel, mean. People were staring at me and I hated it. At the time, I felt good for finally finding my shiny new but still broken spine and standing up for myself, so to speak. I was talking to friends last night and they said I was an asshole. I could politely told her I wasn't going to tell her. I tried that when she came over and demanded answers, not even asked for them. So Reddit, I'm here. I'm asking here. Am I the asshole for not divulging my medical information and asking her about hers?
Oh.
I have my opinion already, but I'll let you do yours first.
Okay. I am thinking about it because, okay, they were asked like way too much stuff. Okay, the lady had no right to go at them and be like all at them and asking them the questions that they were being asked. She had no right to do that, but they, you know, I mean,
okay, you want to hear mine? My answer is this. I don't think she's the asshole. Here's why. If the first lady, the older lady, would not have asked her about her sex life.
Was she older?
I don't know if she was older or not, but if the lady didn't ask her about her sex life, then she went on to ask about a pap smear, etc., then I would have said, yeah, you were an asshole. But since the lady original original asker,
I think they're both equally at fault here.
Right. Yeah.
Why I'm torn.
Right.
Like, I think it's
for one, it's rude to ask someone about their sex life, especially if you don't know them. If it'd be different if we like, I know I don't talk to you about my sex life because I know you don't care about that sort of stuff, but that's why. But if it was like closeness, like me and you, that's more comfortable talking about sex life. You know what I mean? But I'm not just gonna go ask like a random stranger, how's your sex life? You know.
Well, we do discuss it at times, you know, like it does come up every now and then, but it's not like it's something that
if
I don't go seeking it out, you know. I don't just walk up to you like, "Hey, Melissa," how, you know,
right?
How are you doing it?
It comes up. It casually comes up in conversation. It's not just so how's your sex life? Did you get any yesterday? Blah blah blah. So
I mean, it's normal to go up to someone in a wheelchair and like ask. I'm you know, it is kind of normal to like ask questions. You know, sometimes.
Right. So what happened?
Be curious. You know, some people are curious about like how they got into the wheelchair, like what happened to you.
Yeah, but to just straight up go and be like, how's your sex life? And then that's why I think she's in this stance. That's why I think she's not the asshole for her rebuttal, because the lady went and got personal.
Like, yeah, I would say like not the asshole, but at the same time, it's like, and there was a way to like.
She was still an asshole. She was still an asshole, but she wasn't the asshole. She didn't start it. She did not start the assholism.
Like there was a way that she could have responded to that without being like, you know, like she didn't have to like rebut the way she did.
That's true. But at the same time, I can see why. Because if someone just came up to me and randomly started asking me innocent questions and then turned and started asking me about my sex life, I would have gotten pissed off too. So I could see me doing the same thing.
Yeah, like I can see like where it came from, but at the same time, it's like, are there like respondent to that, or did anyone?
There's comments, yes. So,
so they think that they might have been just because they didn't ignore her,
right? So OP has offered the following explanation why they might be the asshole. So this is the OP is like the original poster. So it says, I think I might have been the asshole for not just ignoring her. Instead, I asked her intimate medical questions that were just as personal as the information she demanded from me. So we already kind of discussed that, but This person says, not the asshole. I greatly admire your shiny conversational spine. Lots of folks with wheelchairs, service dogs, mobility aids, and other types and cares come through my workplace, yet somehow we all manage to resist asking ridiculously invasive questions. Yeah, the toddlers visiting might, but getting shut down and having proper behavior explained to them by their parents is part of their social learning curve. And then someone else, toddlers are usually just asking questions. They don't see it as anything, but here's a thing I don't understand, and that's how they learn the world. And to go along with that, toddlers and then younger kids in general aren't just going to go up and start asking you about your sex life either, because for one, they shouldn't know about that early in life. So this is more just about children. I've done similar, but also reminded them that that other person's bodies or health issues aren't our business unless it affects us, sick kids, blah, blah. Oh, that's more about children. So they got on a tangent about kids.
I realized, if they had struck up a conversation while they were waiting in line or at the table, and then they got to talking about stuff, and then it came up to, why are you in the wheelchair?
Right.
I can understand.
But just going up and demanding it from someone, that's
just
rude.
demanding, why are you in the wheelchair? What happened to you? Blah, blah, blah. How's your sex life? That is too far. So I understand. I understand why they got upset. It does make sense. And
yeah.
So I do understand it. So, but at the same time, they really shouldn't have gone into the whole gynecological. It's just
right.
Yeah. So it goes both ways, but I do see where it's they were provoked into saying all of that. It's not like they went at it unprovoked. So
right.
It's that's why I'm kind of sitting here
Yeah, I agree. They were both technically assholes, but the I don't think the one would have been an asshole had the woman not been an asshole first.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
I don't think they would have just gone at that lady and been like, "Is the speculum cold? Does it hurt?"
All right. So next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my son's Halloween party since he won't invite his sister since she cheated?
Oh.
All right. I'm going to host the event myself, and I will do that for a while. In our family, we rotate who hosts the family events. This Halloween party is being done by my son, and everyone was invited but his sister. She, Amy, cheated on her long-distance boyfriend about 4 months ago. I don't approve of what she did. It was shitty of her. Now my son has taken her cheating personally and extremely personally. I had to tell him to shut up about it multiple times. Now today I was talking with her and she didn't know when the party was. I called up my son and he told me she wasn't invited. I told him I will not be going if everyone in the family is invited besides her. This is when the argument broke out. He called me some creative names for defending the slut of the family. I hung up after that. I told my husband what happened, and he's not going now. Or he's also not going now. My son is pissed, and I'm getting messages for not going to the party. Edit. This is a comment. He is 28. She is 23. I have talked to him about it. He can't stand sluts, his exact words. He has never been cheated on from my knowledge. She already did that. I apologized to the ex. And then they broke up. She didn't hide it. His attitude about this makes me think this will be a problem with him for a long time. Okay. That's what I'm thinking, but it doesn't specify if it was his friends, and it had to been it. The only thing I could, it would have had to have been one of his friends for him to be getting that mad.
That
Otherwise,
or he knew the guy a long time.
maybe. Or here's my other thing is maybe he has been cheated on a bunch and he just never let his family know about it. And so now his sister brings up all those bad memories by cheating on her significant other. I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't think the mom's the asshole. Because for one, it's not the brother's business. Even if it was his friend, it's not their business. I don't want to throw my siblings on blast because whatever, but I'll just say I don't think I would disown my siblings if they cheated. So and yeah, there has to be a backstory too. Maybe there's something we don't know about. And who knows, maybe it's like, I hate to say it.
Rolling down. I haven't answered yet. You know that's where the answers are.
I know, I'm sorry, but I wasn't gonna finish. Anyway, what was I saying? You made me forget.
Well,
Okay, shush. Okay, so and let me finish so you can finish yours. This is my last thought, that maybe he got mad because maybe, and I hate going this route, maybe it's a little incestuous thing and he likes his sister.
Ew.
But I don't know.
What, he's jealous that she was with someone else and cheated?
Because now he'll think, she's always going to cheat on people. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but there has to be something. But yeah, I don't think the mom's the asshole. Michelle was thinking that as well. So see, my incestuous thoughts aren't all wrong. All right, what's your opinion, Crystal?
Well, now you done threw me off because you're all saying that he's into his sister.
Well, but you can have your own opinions. You don't have to agree with me. What was your initial opinion before I said that?
Well, you were talking about your siblings. It got me thinking about mine because how my sister made it to where, my family couldn't have get-togethers. We had to be separate all the time. We had to do, oh my God, Michelle.
That wasn't Michelle. Groovy.
Block them.
Yeah. How do I block people?
I don't know. Block. He's doing a bunch of it.
Ban user. Hide their comments. Okay. Yeah, he spelled out a bad word. We don't say that word ever. I don't agree with that word. I don't think it should ever be used. So you are going to be banned from commenting. And I'm sorry that you feel like that's an appropriate word to use, but it's definitely not an appropriate word to ever use. I don't even think Black people should use the word. Okay, let's go on. Go on.
Yeah, so, like I was saying, because like my sister, she made it to where like my family couldn't have get-togethers, as a whole family, because she didn't like my sister-in-law.
Right.
And so instead of doing anything or telling her anything, it was just, we had to separate get-togethers. Oh my God.
I can block people all day long, dude. Keep it up. You coming in here is just giving me more views, and the more views I get, the better my channel is. So keep bringing it. I'll just keep blocking you. Oh, he's spelling out the N word one letter at a time.
People are bored. It's fine. So yeah, it's like, oh, that must be your cat because it's not mine. Or it's a bird outside.
I think it's a bird outside because I did not hear cat meow this time. I'm like, okay, now I really must have a ghost cat if she's hearing crap now. All right, so your sister won't let people have get-togethers. Go on with your thoughts. I'll keep watching the comments, and you go on with your thoughts, so we can go on to the comments.
Well, it is just kind of weird, that he doesn't want his sister there because she cheated on a boyfriend, and it was a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
It was like 4 months ago, so it's like, why isn't he over it?
Right.
So, like, he had to know the dude personally or something. Like, something's up. It's just weird. And for him to be calling her a slut and stuff like that, and like the husband doesn't want to go, and it's just weird.
Right.
A weird family dynamic or whatever. Because like, why isn't the husband going? Because like, it's just really, really weird. But I don't know. It's kind of like they're all turning against the mom, because she says that she's like, or I don't like, they're all taking up for
They're taking up for the son.
Yeah. It's like he doesn't want to invite the sister, and they're all fine with it, and they're getting mad at her, and so it's just really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. And what was I going to say? I had another thought in my head, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Oh, and then like the mom even says that she doesn't agree with what her daughter did, but she's also basically she's not going to disown her for it either. So,
well, no, okay. The parents are refusing to go because they won't invite the sister.
Right, because it's a family party and everyone should be included. Just because she cheated on her boyfriend doesn't mean she should be disowned from the family. I mean, it's not like they were married and like he was the best thing in their lives. I mean, it was a long distance relationship.
Sister. The parents are standing up for the sister.
Right.
And it's so the parents are taking the sister side, and it's pissing off the son.
Right.
Because he's going to have like no family at his party.
Well,
and that's going to be his fault.
It is going to be his fault because he's choosing to be petty over just letting someone live their own life.
So I think the son is the asshole here, and not mom. So the mom's not the asshole.
Yeah. Mom won't go because sister's banned. Dad won't go for the blow up against the mom. Yeah. Yeah, and he should have never blew up at his mom. That's just disrespectful. Info. Though your son isn't the wronged party, cheating can create a very negative opinion of someone. Have you talked with your son to find out why he took the cheating harshly? Was he cheated on before? Have you ever asked him what can make things right between him? His sister apologizing to her ex. Does she just need time, or does he just need time? Will be now and forever. Think about that little. Whoever wrote that needs to learn English. What are your children? She gave her children's ages.
That was an edit, though.
Oh, okay. Okay. He's 28. She's 23. I have talked to him about it. He can't stand sluts. His exact words. He has never been cheated on from my knowledge. She already did that, and then they broke up. She didn't hide it. His attitude.
He can't stand sluts is 100% code that he's been cheated on or a close friend has.
Yeah. Edit. I've gotten enough. Tate something comment.
Incel.
He can't be a misogynistic asshole without being an involuntary celibate. OP says son has been married 3 years. And yes, married men can be involuntarily celibate. I was celibate for 6 months each time we had a child, but I doubt incel is the primary motivation for this person being a misogynistic at this point in his life and marriage? I guess I don't understand what incel means.
Incel, it's involuntary celibate.
Oh, okay. I guess I just didn't understand that.
I mean, they don't want to be celibate, but they are. They're not having,
okay.
and it's not by choice.
Okay. Just the words "I can't stand sluts" scream 19-year-old incel, not well-adjusting grown-ass man pushing 30. To be clear, finding blah blah blah. Can't stand sluts was all I needed to hear. I have a sneaky suspicion he's not as passionate about how often men cheat or cares even a fraction as much about how often wealthy celebrity men that he may or may not be a fan of cheat on their spouses. Cheating sucks, but this is such a bizarre reaction to your sister cheating on a man who isn't even your friend. People have struggled with monogamy for millennia. Mistresses and lovers have existed since the invention of marriage. It doesn't make it right, but it's a tale as old as time, and Buddy needs to get off his high horse. Uncle who cheated years ago has been invited to the party, which tells you all you need to know. So he's okay with men cheating, but not women. Huh. Just trying to scroll down and see if there's someone else. Yes, cheating is wrong, but this sounds more like good old-fashioned misogyny to me, given his choice of words and inability to provide a real explanation. I wonder if he's as harsh with men who cheat. It's not so uncommon that you're going to tell me he's never had a male friend who cheated on his girlfriend before. Good for you on refusing to accept that bullshit, not the asshole. So I think pretty much most of the people agree that she's not the asshole.
Well, like it said, it was like a long distance relationship, and it was 4 months ago and stuff like that. And she's apologized to the dude. So
Yeah.
I think it's just like the brother's probably cheating on his wife or some shit, and like, or has a mistress on the side, or he wants to be cheating on his wife. You know, like he wishes he could be cheating.
Or maybe his wife cheated on him,
Yeah.
but they made it work or something. So now it just triggers him when other females cheat. But at the same time, it wasn't a marriage. It was a relationship. She was not even in it. Like you said, it was long distance at that. And we all know, I'm not saying long distance can't work, but
they're kind of rare to work out.
Very, very rare to work. And for all we know, the guy was cheating too, and the long distance boyfriend is what I mean. Maybe he was cheating too, and that's why they ended up, once she confessed, maybe he confessed, and they decided it'd just be best if they weren't together anymore. It doesn't sound like there was any animosity during the breakup. So
yeah, it doesn't sound, I mean, we don't know what happened with the other dude. I mean,
yeah, Michelle's right. Right. So I don't know. The mom's definitely not the asshole. I would say the son's the asshole.
Yeah. He's the one that sounds like he's got the problem. I mean, if the dad hears about it and he stands up for the daughter, you know, he's like, well, You know, if you're not going because she's not going, then I'm not going either. You know, he
Well,
doesn't take it for the son.
well, the dad didn't go because the son blew up at his mom.
Well, even
So,
still, you know, he's not like taking the son's side. He's taking the wife's side.
right. But
So he didn't think his son was right and stand up for his son. He took up for his wife.
yeah,
You know, so
you are right. So, oh, but yes, that one is definitely not the asshole. All right, so next one. Am I the asshole for suggesting that if my boyfriend wants me to wear nicer clothes, he should buy them? Bear
well,
with me.
let's hear how this goes.
Bear with me. I know I sound like the asshole from the title, but it's a long story.
Not
My
necessarily.
my which is, I guess she's 32 female, boyfriend is 32 male, and I have been together for around 14 years. We grew up together and come from the same working class background.
Right, yeah, right off the bat, I'm hearing not the asshole.
um, we both went to university and did well. I'm an architect and he has a very good job at a bank. We live in London. We both make good money now, but he makes ridiculously good money. And this has never been an issue in our relationship. Neither of us are massively financially driven, although it's obviously nice to be able to afford things now. I think all of the above is important to know for context. Anyway, as part of my boyfriend's role, he's invited to a lot of events slash dinners, etc., where he's allowed to bring his partner. I obviously dress up for the occasion. However, a lot of the partners of his colleagues and his female colleagues really dress up. I might show up wearing a dress from Reese, which to me is still extremely fancy, but they'll be there in Balenciaga and other very expensive clothes. Recently, my boyfriend asked if I'd consider buying something like that for an event we're going to, an award ceremony. It was just one night and it was very fancy. So I agreed and spent an eye-watering amount of money on a dress. Since then, he's asking if I'd consider doing this for every event I go to. I said it was a waste of money and I'm not going to spend thousands on clothes and shoes, but that every once in a while I'm happy to splash out. I also said if he's happy to buy it, then I'll wear it. But otherwise, I'd rather spend my money on other things. He doesn't like that idea because we've never had that kind of relationship. And he said that it would feel like our dynamic was changing if he started buying me stuff like that. Like we're not equal partners, which I totally understand because I would feel the same. I personally feel like he wants me to wear this sort of stuff because we don't come from this lifestyle. And he feels like he has something to prove, although he won't admit it. In my industry, no one cares what you wear, at least not to that extreme. I'm torn as whether I'm the asshole for refusing or not. The money wouldn't exactly break the bank, but I just don't want to waste cash unnecessarily. Edit. Okay, I've never heard of this renting designer clothes thing before, and I think the people who mentioned that might have just solved my problem entirely. You're legends. Thank you. Edit 2. Thank you for all your feedback, guys. I think I'll take this discuss the price with him option and talk him through how much it would actually cost, then maybe looking at renting. I get where the people calling him an asshole comes from, but he's not. I think it's just imposter syndrome, which I get because I feel the same way. Plus, he goes to events with me and spends hours talking to my colleagues about the difficulties of plumbing and skyscrapers. So I think we can meet in the middle with this. All right. Before we do the update, because I think the update's gonna like completely change our mind. But we probably should have done it for the edits too. So I'm gonna go back like we just read this with no edits, and I'm gonna say that she's not the asshole. But I wouldn't necessarily say he's the asshole either. I think maybe he shouldn't expect her to spend thousands of dollars on one dress for one night. If I mean, I could see if he'd be okay if she wore that same dress to events, but he's wanting her to buy something new every event, which means that's where he's starting to fall into the asshole category. If it was just by, hey, can you buy a nicer dress for the events and she can wear them multiple times before investing in another piece. But for him saying, hey, can you start buying new outfits for each event? That's a little excessive because
especially when they're thousands of dollars a piece.
Right, because and some of them are more than that. Have you looked at Balenciaga and crap?
I know Balenciaga is expensive.
Oh my God, some of their crap can get up to like $10,000. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, like Michelle said, very influential bankers can have thousands of events. So,
I mean, this could be like weekly stuff that they're going to too.
Right.
Like every week they could have a new event.
Yeah. Can you imagine having to buy 52 dresses a year? That even at $1,000 a pop, and that's just the dress. That's not the shoes, any accessories. So
they could have an event like every Friday night. It's like every and then like. And then an award ceremony like monthly or something like that, and you have like a really big event, or because you have those fiscal year awards, their fiscal year and stuff like that. If those do really well, that's a Balenciaga dress, and,
right?
And then they probably have like monthly events and stuff like that. And then they probably have like the weekly things and everything where they're meeting up and everything. And so, it's like, how often are they meeting? And then she says that she has her own events that they go to.
Yeah, but she says that she doesn't have to dress up nearly as fancy as his because she's an architect. So
yeah, but she still might have some for her own where they have to at least dress up a little bit.
Right.
Dinners and things like that, they're probably still dressing up for hers.
Right.
But
it sounds like hers is just like more like
business casual
dressing, whereas his is like ballroom dressing. So okay, so based off of just the initial information, I would say he's an asshole for expecting her to spend that much money for every event separately. Like I said,
if get their relationship dynamic, because it sounds like they're just boyfriend girlfriend and everything,
right? And they kind of do their own thing. They keep their own money separate and stuff like that. They probably split the bills half and half. So I get it, but at the same time, he's wanting her to buy a new outfit for each event, and that's
he's wanting to increase her expenses, like probably 10, like probably like 50%. He's wanting to increase, or however much he's wanting to increase her expenses, he should be helping her out with that. Like he shouldn't just expect her to add on like $20,000-$30,000 a year to her expenses and not help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michelle, technically Justin and I have separate accounts as well, but we're each on all the accounts together, if that makes any sense. It's just for like he has money going into like my account, and my account's usually like grocery money and like any extra crap I want to buy, and then his account's like all the other bills. So we do that just so we always have money for groceries, because we went through a time when we were like lucky if we ate something besides ramen noodles. So
I mean, it says they've been together for like 14 years and stuff like that. So they've been together long enough. Like, I don't like it doesn't say like if they share like finances or they might by now they might share some finances or whatever. I
I
mean, they're
don't know.
still like they're not married yet, but people don't really get married like they used to either. Like you get these long-term relationships. They're not marrying like they used to.
And it just says they
You
live
know?
in London. It doesn't say they live together either. So maybe they don't
No,
even live together. I don't know.
no, it just says that they live in London and they've been together for 14 years. But people don't really get like they'll be together forever and then they may or may not get married. Like you see these people that are together for like decades before they get married, if they
Right.
even get married. And it's like you'll see these people and because they're in their 30s, they've been together for 14 years. And so it's like, they've had plenty of time to get married, but what's stopping them?
Right.
So, and they have good jobs, they're financially stable and everything. So, it is a whole other show.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
um,
So let's read the update. Because both of us are saying he's the asshole. So let's
yeah.
read the update and see if that changes our mind any. Update. Okay, so we discussed it. I priced up a nice outfit, shoes, jewelry, and showed him what it would cost to buy something like that each month versus what I bring home each month. I think he understood a bit more why I was not keen on throwing that money away. He said he doesn't actually care what I wear. It's just because cultivating that image is part of the world and helps when he's networking, etc. It's just because, hold on. He also told me that one of his colleagues had made a jokey, bantery comment about where I bought my outfit. He asked if it was from Primark, which, for those who don't know, is a cheap clothing shop. He he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me because he thought I'd be upset. I really don't care. Nothing wrong with Primark, and I looked fire. And he said that he asked me to wear more expensive stuff so he could rub it in this guy's face. I get it. We're northern and we sound northern. We don't totally fit in down here. You do what you can. I said I'd rent slash occasionally buy high end clothes if we split the bill. He said that was fine. Checked. Or checked. I still actually wanted to go to these events and wasn't upset with him for asking. I said no, and that, hold on. He said that was fine. Checked that I still wanted to go to these events and wasn't upset with him for asking. I said no and that I understood. Now we're going to order a Domino's. Cheers all. So Michelle said that's worse. Oh, so I mean, honestly, I still think he's the asshole. He should have stood up. He should have stood up for her because it shouldn't matter where she bought her clothes from. She wasn't wearing pajamas. She wasn't, she was still dressed really nice.
Like her clothes were coming from like Reese and shit. Like,
which is not a high end, but it's like a Macy's over there. So and they're still together apparently, Michelle. So I mean, it's nice of him to finally
might
say,
explain why they're not married.
well, it's nice. It's nice of him to finally say he'd split the bill with her, but at the same time, for one, if someone said something shitty about me and Justin didn't tell me, I'd be pissed off at him. I wouldn't say that I understood why he didn't tell me that. I would be pissed. I'd be like, no, you should have told me, because that's my reputation. That, yeah, you're protecting it, but at the same time, did you go and stand up for me? Because it sounds like this dude didn't go and say anything. He just came to her and said, hey, can you start wearing fancier shit?
Yeah, it sounds like he just sat there and took it and probably even agreed with the dude. Like, yes, she does, doesn't he? Doesn't she? She totally
Like,
looks she's wearing clothes from there, doesn't she?
oh my. Let's see how many people think he's an asshole.
It sounds like they all did. Like, totally the asshole.
Do, 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 do. He doesn't like the idea because we've never had that kind of relationship and so did blah, blah, blah. But he's perfectly okay with you spending your money for his events. Designer is costly. You wear it maybe once or twice and then it gathers dust. Him, he can rotate a few suits and change the look with the tie and pocket square, not the asshole.
Exactly.
Does he understand exactly how much designer cost? He's expecting you to bear the financial burden in order to look good for his events. I'd say his request has changed the dynamic. He's in finance. I'm assuming he understands numbers. Write it all down. The costs of a few suits and accessories that can be worn frequently, and the cost of a new dress and accessories for each event. Show him his costs are tiny in comparison to what happened. In comparison to what he wants you to spend. P.S. Maybe try Rent the Runway or thrift stores, consignment stores. I never heard of Rent the Runway or renting in general. I think it might have just solved my problem. Blah blah blah. Perhaps the dress aspect, but now he thinks about this situation seems a bit off, and that he doesn't appreciate you is very caught up in the look of things. These are his work events. He wants you to finance his work events when he makes significantly more than you. That that is not an equal partnership. Edit. As others have asked, he is buying a new several $1,000 suit for every event. Is he buying a new several $1,000 suit for every event? I highly doubt it. Again, not equal. So pretty much everyone agrees with what we've already said. He's the asshole. And also, Rent the Runway is very selective because, like, if you're plus size, you're likely not going to find anything. So she better hope she's not plus size. All right. So next one. This house still has vax on the carpet from last week. I hate cleaning. I hate cleaning a clean house. Did the people actually live there, or they just use it as a show house? Because my carpet marks are gone like 5 seconds after I vacuum. All right. Am I the asshole because I let my wife break a gift from her grandmother? Okay. Hold on. They do live here. Doesn't sound like it. My 27 wife's 23, this confuses me. 23 grandmother is downsizing and moving into a retirement community. Rather than put everything into storage and wait until she passes away, her grandmother is giving away everything that won't fit in her new home to her family. Part of my wife's loot was a French butter keeper. If you don't know what that is, I will try to explain. It's a ceramic bowl roughly the size of a large mug with no handle. The lid is a smaller bowl attached to it, and then you put it on a smaller bowl. And when you put it on the smaller bowl, it fits the bigger bowl upside down. That is important to the story. The bigger bowl has some water in it that keeps the butter cool and forms an airtight seal to protect the butter. I told my wife that it was really cool and I'll set it up. She said that I set it up wrong and she emptied out the water and flipped the thing upside down. About a week later, I came home and she was crying because she broke it. A little butter had gotten between the two bowls and made them kind of tacky, I guess. When she picked up the outer bowl, the the outer bowl lid, the smaller one came with it. Butter does not make a good adhesive, so when it was a few inches from the bottom, it came loose and fell. It it hot in just the wrong angle and broke. Oh, probably it hit at just the right angle and broke. My wife says I should have explained better why she was wrong. She said that I let her break it to prove a point. She's upset with me for letting her break a gift. I'm not sure she would have wanted me to explain gravity, the adhesive coefficient of butter, how lids work. I showed her the right way and let her have her way when she called it dumb. I think if she really cared, it would have taken 5 seconds to YouTube a video on how to use the damn thing. Yeah, so I agree. The wife is definitely an asshole here. Because you put it together for her. She told you it was wrong, and she did it the wrong way. So that's on her. She broke it.
Yeah.
She broke it. You're not the asshole. She's the asshole. She's a bigger asshole for blaming you for it breaking, like you were there and you did it. So, lordy. That one was a pretty easy.
Yeah, that one was easy. I mean, seriously, like, she's the one who did it, and it's not his fault that, you know?
Yeah. So let's just make sure everyone agrees with. Oh, hold on. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I showed my wife how to use a gift from her grandmother. She thought it was wrong, so she used it differently. She broke it, then blamed me for not blah, blah, blah. They already put that up there. Okay. They just didn't put it as an edit, so that's why it confused me. What a lot of kerfuffle over something that is broken. If cannot be fixed, move on. By the way, I just keep my butter in a random plastic container. It stays not on the counter or weeks and has never gone more. Oh God, people need to learn how to write. I use a lot of butter in my cooking and baking. I've never had butter sticks around long enough to go bad. You can leave them on the counter for I think 2 weeks before they start molding. So me neither. Mine was individual casserole dish, blah blah blah. My butter dish is a ceramic taco truck. All right, let's see. Now no one's saying, okay, not the asshole OP. I've also known folks who have broken things due to knowing better and not listening to instructions, and they're insufferable. So, yeah, I think for the most part, people agree that they're not the asshole. Next. Do you want to read any of these, Crystal?
I can.
All right. So, are you going to read the 13-year-old niece one?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'll pull it up and you can read it.
Okay. Am I the asshole for giving skincare to my 13-year-old niece? So long story short, I am a 27-year-old woman with a niece who is now 13 years old. Long story, my sister is much older than me. It sounds like I could have written this. For her birthday, I went to the Korean skincare store and got her a little care package with fun, bubbling, or animal face masks, night cream, mist, a little serum, and a cool-looking bottle, a cleanser, and sunscreen. My sister got mad and said I was pressuring her to conform to beauty standards. Okay. She said that the animal masks and cute bottles are fun, but the inclusion of night cream and sunscreen could make her daughter already feel pressure not to age at 13. I see it as a fun way of ensuring good skin habits at an early age, considering most start their routines way too young. And I see it as a cute girly gift that she might enjoy, but my sister says 13 years old is too young and she shouldn't be worrying about aging. Am I the asshole? I don't think so. I mean, then there's no anti-aging shit there.
Right. So,
I mean,
if unless it's specifically said anti-aging, if it specifically said anti-aging, then yes, you're the asshole for giving it to your 13-year-old niece because their skin is still developing at 13. Because you have to remember some girls don't even hit puberty until later than 13. So it just depends on when they become a woman. And even still, you don't really need to start worrying about aging until you're around 18 to 20. And unless you're like me and you're 40 years old and you still don't care. But it sounds like that they just got her some face masks, which can be like ones that are for hydrating your skin, which hydrating your skin is always good.
and something like that's what night cream does too. It
Night
makes your
cream,
skin
yeah.
softer.
Yeah, I mean, so unless it specifically said anti-aging on it, which they don't tell us that in this article,
I mean, I would imagine that the mom, because she says, she's 27 and the little girl is 13, so the mom is probably like close to her 40s.
right.
Because it says like the sister is much older. Like I said, like this sounds like something that I could have written. Because it sounds like a situation that I would have been in.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the mom is probably like someone who has like a midlife crisis like way too freaking early. Because my sister was 29 for like how many fucking years?
God knows how long.
Yeah. Like my sister was 29 until like I was 29. I mean,
Right.
she refused to have an age. She refused to age herself. And so like you have an older sister who is fighting getting older, like refusing to age, and so she looks at night cream and stuff like that and she's like, oh my god, you bought my daughter anti-aging cream. And it's like, no, it's just like it's not it's not like that. It's just it's little face, and it says like they're animal face masks and stuff like that. It's not. And yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like the mom sees the little daughter getting older as her getting older.
Yeah.
Can't handle it. And so like that's what it is. It's it's like it's not that necessarily the daughter's getting older and aging, it's that the mom is aging. And so she's not the asshole, the mother is.
And then who knows? I mean, they didn't specify this, but maybe the niece asked for the stuff because young girls, they watch these beauty gurus on YouTube and they want to try all the crap. So
yeah, I mean she's 13. She's a teenager.
right.
It's time for her to start learning that kind of stuff. It's time for her to start getting into makeup and things. I mean, she probably already has been doing makeup for a little while at 13.
Right.
Like some little girls started early.
Yeah. And it doesn't say anything that, I don't know.
Like I don't see that as conforming to beauty standards. What is she going to do when that little girl wants to put makeup on? Is she going to tell her that she's conforming to beauty standards?
Right.
What the hell? She's 13.
It almost sounds like maybe like they grew up like kind of like you and your sister. They grew up different. Maybe when the sister was 13, she wasn't allowed to have anything to do with makeup and stuff, and she grew up, and now she's in her 40s, and she probably still doesn't really have much experience with it because she wasn't allowed to use it as a child, and then her sister gets to be that age and is allowed to use it, and so maybe they just grew up different, so they see it as different too. I don't know, but I would say that she is not the asshole unless it specifically says like anti-aging, because again, you don't want to buy younger kids anti-aging stuff. It can kind of affect their skin and pores and crap like that.
Yeah,
So
she should be using sunscreen though. You know, you would think that the sunscreen she wouldn't be arguing about the sunscreen.
yeah, sunscreen everyone should be using sunscreen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna admit, I don't. I don't.
We don't use that enough. I mean, we would always go out and get burned and be like, what did we forget?
Yeah. All right. So let's see. OP offered this explanation. I got my 13-year-old niece skincare as a birthday present. My sister got mad, told me that the gift could pressure her daughter into being afraid of aging at age 13. Did they add that in there? Yeah. I hate when they add stuff. And anyway, I'm going to say not the asshole, as your niece expressed interest in these items. Sunscreen, face masks, etc. are a fun hobby and good for skin, especially the sunscreen. But I can see where your sister might be worried. This is a very formative time in your niece's life, and I've seen plenty of women my age, 32 and younger, who started skincare routines young, developed an unhealthy obsession with looking young, worried they're aging, losing it over natural things. I think it might be important to have a conversation with your niece about why you got her these things and how they're important for her well-being, like sunscreen just as important as brushing your teeth, but also skin issues are normal too.
Yeah, sunscreen's not a fun hobby. It's, it should be used. It's not something to do as a hobby.
Exactly.
And that person underneath says, I live in Australia. Skin cancer, melanoma is one of the biggest killers here. Everyone should absolutely be wearing sunscreen every day,
even if it's overcast. And I think that's where me and you always had a lot of like, oh, well, the sun's not even out, and then we'd end up getting burnt. So
like, hey, you don't approach the kid like, hey, you're going to get skin cancer, you put on sunscreen, but you just, it's
you
like,
kind of just explain to them why it's important.
Yeah. But it's not a hobby to them, so you hand them sunscreen and you tell them that they need to wear this every day because, it's just something that they need to wear. And
then it goes into a bunch of people talking about more sunscreen, more skin cancer. I've noticed that a lot of the comments on these aren't telling if they're the asshole or not. So
Reddit gets into a lot of bullshit, and then you get people that just bullshit and then say stupid stuff. But here, someone down below says, I think it's more of the masks and night cream people are.
Yeah.
And moisturizers should not be seen as gendered beauty standards. It's just face cream. Someone else like.
All right, I'm just going to say this, and I don't care if I get any hate. I don't care if no one ever said that face masks and night cream are only for women. I know a lot of guys who use face masks and night cream because they have skin conditions and they need it. But normal men, once they actually claim, to be a he, him, they don't want to use face masks and all that other stuff because they see it as girly. And that's not I don't think it should be labeled as like a whole gender thing anyway, because I'm trying not to get hate. I'm trying not to get hate. a majority of men that use the products are LGBTQ. So, not saying that it's right, but I do know some straight men that use the products as well. I'm just saying that society, and I don't think it's marketing, I think it's the manly society has seen it as prissy to use those types of products. That's why a lot of men won't even use hand lotion, because it's seen as prissy to have soft hands. So I'm going to disagree with that one, that it's that it's a whole gender beauty standard crap. That just irritates me. And then this person's right. The men's market for skincare is expanding. They are starting to make.
If you ever come across a channel that like promotes Manscaped, like they'll talk about like moisturizers and stuff like that for men.
And they're starting to make a whole line, and and I've had someone that works for Procter and Gamble come out and tell me that said the men's line is the exact same thing as the women's line. It just has a different scent put in it.
Mm-hmm.
So they just make it smell more.
I'm just says the men's market for skincare is expanding. It's all promoted differently. While women's moisturizer leaves your skin smooth, fresh, and fully hydrated, men's moisturizer gets deep into the skin cells for maximum penetration. And then underneath it says, "Why the maximum penetration, though?"
Yeah. So I'm just saying, people need to stop making it seem like lotion and crap is for women only. It needs to stop. All right. We decided the ant's not the asshole. No one else wanted to talk about anything really. Do you want to read the next one, or you want me to read the next one?
I can read it.
Okay, so refusing to pay child support.
Okay, am I the asshole for refusing to pay my ex the child support she thinks I owe? Okay. The ex and I divorced over a decade ago. At the time, we were making about the same amount of money, so we agreed to share custody, shared cost of raising the children, and no child support. He married a guy who was making more than me, so they were able to take my kids to places and do things I couldn't at the time. I contributed as much as I could, then the ex covered the rest. For example, they spent a month in Italy one summer, and all I could afford at the time was to give my kids $1,000 each, and the ex covered the rest. When it came time to buy cars for the kids, we disagreed on buying them new or used cars. In the end, I contributed $5,000 per child, and she covered the rest for their new cars. Before the pandemic, my brother had a great idea, and we started a business together. Our business grew during the pandemic, and it's been growing every month since then. Last month, my youngest asked me to help her pay for grad school. I told her that I'll cover the entire cost, and she was very happy with that. I guess word got back to the ex, and she called me last week asking where I'm getting the money, since she thought I was still at my old job and knows that the old salary could never allow me to be that generous. I refused to answer any of her questions, and we ended up in a huge argument. Basically, she demanded me to pay her back for covering my share of the children's expenses during our divorce if I have money now. I told her to go ahead and hold her breath while waiting for my check because our divorce was finalized and the kids are all over 20 now.
Okay. Here, I'm going to throw this out here real quick. I'm going to just throw a little legal crap. First of all, if you got a divorce and you guys decided on that, you should have done it in mediation, because in mediation, it makes it legal basically saying that she's not asking for child support because now, even though your children are over 20, she could go back and from the time you guys got divorced till the time they turned 18 and request child support. So anyone that's watching this and thinking about getting divorced, if you have children and you don't want to go all the way through the courts, at least do the mediation part because it covers your ass.
Well, wait, could she though? Because she got remarried.
But here's the thing. But what I'm saying is she could because even if she got remarried, he's still responsible for the children. He wasn't paying her alimony. That's the only thing that you lose when you get remarried. You still get child support. So, if they would have went through mediation, it would have covered him when he got a better job because she couldn't have went after him for child support at that point because they went through mediation.
Well, we don't know what state they're in. Each state could be different.
Even still, you don't ever make stuff like that. No, you pay child support on your children until they're 18 years old. It doesn't matter if your spouse remarries because your spouse's new spouse is not responsible for your children. You are still responsible for your children. So
but what I'm saying is, it's like now that they're over 20 and stuff like that, I'm saying like I'm not sure if you can actually just go back and have the court like tell you to pay for back pay.
In most states, yeah, she could, because he did not inform her of a job change. So their initial word-to-word agreement was now no longer, Anyway, most states, she could probably go back and get child support from him. So either way, go through mediation, save your ass for stuff like this. Because if they would have gone through mediation, even if he would have switched jobs, she could not come after him since the children were over 18 when he got the better job or more money or whatever, she couldn't have come after him. The only way she could have come after him at that point was from the time.
The pandemic wasn't that long ago, though.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying is that his job.
Look, it's saying that his business didn't grow until his business grew during the pandemic.
Right.
It's been growing every month since then.
Right. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if they would have went through mediation and, she was under this impression that this is what he makes, so this is what he's going to contribute via their word. And it would have been in writing and it would have covered his ass. And then when his business took off during the pandemic, if his kids were over the age of 18 at that time, she couldn't have went after him for more money because it was during the pandemic, or it was after they turned 18. But if he would have said, let's say, for example, he would have started making better money 5 years ago, she could have went back to court then and said, oh, he's making more money. We want to renegotiate our mediation and he's going to start paying this amount. But anyway, it's all, he's not the asshole in this situation. She is what it's going to come down to. But I'm just saying he should have went through mediation to protect his ass. Some rude person called during your live. How rude of them. Did you tell them never to call you during my lives again?
I just don't think they could. I mean, I don't see a court siding with her or anything like that. I mean, because like I'm saying, because his business just started to go through, and so this is new information.
I understand.
He doesn't have to tell her anything.
I understand, and I get where you're coming from, but I'm telling you that in almost all of the states, even if she went back to court for this, she
Not
could.
with how much he was giving her. I mean, he
Well, and he'd
contributed
have to prove that, but
5,000 per child. I mean,
that's the thing. He would have to prove they don't have any court documents stating that that's what they agreed upon. So she could go back and say that he hasn't taken care of the kids since they got divorced and request all that child support now that he's making money to.
no, but I'm sure he's got records that show that he contributed 5,000 per child on the cars, and that he gave them how much.
But he might, but we don't know that. It's not saying that though.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to be realistic here.
I'm just saying, if she went after anything, he would have records that shows.
He would have to hope he has all the records.
Have financial records that shows how much he contributed, how much he gave them when he could, what he was making.
I understand, but he'd have to be able to prove that. If he did not keep the records, he's not going to have anything to show in court, is what I'm trying to say. She could still go after him. Will she win? Maybe, maybe not. But a lot of times the judges side with the moms and end up making the dads pay. That's just an unfortunate thing.
Well, let's see what the comments say, because...
Well, we're going to read it. That's not even what this is about. I was just throwing that out there to get my point across, that people need to protect themselves, whether it's the man or the woman. If you don't want to go through court for child support, at least go through mediation and have something legally written. That's not what this whole part was. My whole thing is, yes, she's the asshole, not him. So, OP has offered, I refuse to pay the ex money. She thinks I owe for not covering when I couldn't afford to pay for exactly half of the expenses for the kids. Not the asshole. Sounds like you consistently contributed to their educations, health, and you had 50% custody. The fact that she spent more money on luxuries is her choice, i.e. new cars instead of used month-long vacations. Blah, blah, blah. Child support is for the children, and you paid for them when they were growing up. Not sure what her logic is. Her logic is, I want money. It's dumb anyway, because the only reason she got money before is for the children. He's literally giving money directly to his children now.
Yeah. He's also going to pay for the education. She should shut the fuck up.
Okay, this one. Why would the OP share news of his new business with his brother and his ex-wife, especially one that is only 3 years old, since was made during the pandemic? Exactly. And it's none of her business anyway.
No.
So, I was scared this was going to be one of those, I pay $100 a month in child support. That should be more than enough type of deals. But OP sounds like a responsible and loving father. He paid a lot of money as well for his children to enjoy these trips, even though it was out of his budget. The trips seem expensive and could have been bougie due to the stepfather's wealth, and OP did what he could to cover his part. OP, if she insists on the money, then you can offer to pay your share of the money to your children, as that's what the money is supposed to be for. To see her get upset over the money she spent on her children is ridiculous. In my opinion, this sounds like the ex wants the money to herself. I feel like she wants the old trips paid by OP, but still wants the credit for taking the kids on the trips. Yeah. So it looks like just everyone's agreeing with us that the OP is not the asshole, it's the other person. Also, going back to what we were arguing about a minute ago, one reason I don't think that she would win if they went to court is because he's covering the whole college expense. So
Yeah.
and as long as he has document to show, hey, I'm paying her whole college, that's not going to bode well for her. But yeah,
that's what started the argument. He's offering to pay for like
I think
money
it
for
comes
him to go
down
to college.
yeah, I think it comes down to like she's jealous that she can't pay for the whole college.
Or, like he's offering to pay for the child to go to school like completely and the stepfather's not.
And also, teenagers don't need brand new cars. $5,000 was significant amount.
$5,000 could have bought a used car.
A decent one.
Yeah. Could have flat out bought a used car. But it just contributed to the cost of a new car.
Yeah. So don't buy your children brand new cars when they're first learning to drive. That just always irked me. Like this kid I went to school with, I went to a Richie school when we moved to Indiana. And this kid, his parents bought him a brand new Miata. That was the cool car back then. He wrecked it after owning it for a week. They bought him another brand new Miata. He wrecked that one after like 3 months. And guess what? They bought him another brand new Miata. It's like, why? Why spend that kind of money on your children when they aren't responsible enough to take care of things, to drive safely? They're still learning. Buy them a junker that's most likely not going to kill them if they get in a car accident like a freaking Miata would. My first car was a 1986 Toyota Cressida. And then my next one was an 86. It might have been an 84. Yeah, the Cressida was like in 1984, I believe, because the Pontiac was a 1986 Pontiac Bonneville. That car you could not destroy. All kids should have a 1986 Pontiac Bonneville when they're first learning to drive. Just saying. I tried destroying that car. My first car was an 86 Thunderbird. Those are nice cars.
And it's like, I went to a school that was, it was public, but it probably could have been private. It had like freaking tuition that was pretty damn high. And so, yeah, we had a lot of kids that had like really, really nice cars when we were learning how to drive. And so, like, we had basically like the whole football team, they were getting brand new freaking cars. And the cheerleaders were getting new cars because there was like the Richie kids of the school. And so, like, my friends and I, we got used cars.
Well, see, when I switched high schools, because most people don't know this, but I dropped out of high school and then was given the option to either go back or work 2 jobs. And I worked 2 jobs for a summer and said, nope, I'm going back. So I switched schools. I ended up going to a smaller farm town school, and I felt more comfortable driving my car there. There was a lot of people that owned a lot of like farm trucks and stuff like that. And yeah, you still had your occasional Richie kid that drove like the nice car. But for the most part, most people drove junker cars at that school. So I'm not gonna lie. I was the only child, the only of the 3 of us that did not pay for any of my vehicles. I think that's why my brothers say that I'm the favorite, because my older brother had to pay for all of his vehicles. My younger brother had to pay for all of his vehicles, and my parents, I never paid for any of my vehicles until I got married, actually. The first car I ever actually contributed to was the Dodge that I gave Crystal. Because even when I got my Volkswagen, my dad ended up paying for it. So because I ended up losing, like, the company I worked for ended up going overseas, so I didn't have a job. So my dad ended up paying for it. So yeah, I am not gonna lie. I am a very spoiled child. I've never denied that. Even told my husband that, like, I think on our second date, that I was a very spoiled child, and I can pretty much, I don't want to say get what I want, but if it's something my dad feels like I need, he will figure out a way for me to get it. If it's something I want, he will usually figure out a way for me to get it for, like, my birthday or Christmas. So even still, I'm a very spoiled child.
I was spoiled too.
Yes, you were. I even had to yell at you a couple times for some of the things you said to your mom. But we're not going to make that public now. What I yelled at you for. So, or we could, and we could do an Am I the Asshole for you? Is Crystal the asshole? Crystal, I don't remember the age, but somewhere in her 20s, I'm sure. We've been friends for a long time. I can't remember what year it was. Probably 2010. No, it would have been before that. 2009. Well, the second time I agreed with you. The second car, I agreed with you.
What?
With Sophia, when she gave Sophia to Keisha, I agreed with you there.
Oh.
But with what was that car?
Erd?
No, it's not a Yaris. What was it?
Oh, The Matrix.
Yeah, but the way you acted to her about that car, that's when I yelled at you. So, but we won't do an Am I the Asshole for Crystal. We'll be nice today. Oh, you know what? Our overnight, I think, started. Let me see.
Oh. I don't think it starts until 3.
I think I saw them that they were going to start at 2. I'm about to go check. So, no. My channel subscriptions, people. Subscriptions. Let's go to live. Yep. Oh, no. Yep, now it's the other day it said 2, but yeah, now it's saying 3. So, okay, we're good. Oh, this one sounds like a good one to read. Am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law and father-in-law help me with the baby after their reaction to me being injured? I, 21 female, have a 7-month-old son with my boyfriend. My family lives abroad and are coming over to stay and help at Christmas time. For now, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, 60s, are helping me with household stuff and the baby. So far, we haven't had any real issues, and they've been a massive help. About 3 weeks ago, I fell down the stairs. I wasn't holding the baby, and the baby was safe. However, instead of helping me, Deborah and Bob both jumped to comfort the baby, who was crying, and left me at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh.
My legs were fine, but I was wobbly because of shock, and asked one of them to help me. After nearly 10 whole minutes of being ignored, I managed to stand up on my own and hobbled through to the living room. I sit down and Deborah says, "What happened to you? Are you okay?" I admit I saw red. I said, I just fell down the stairs. Didn't you hear me calling you for help? Deborah's eyes widened and she said she was too busy fussing over the baby. After an hour, my arm was swelling up and I was taken to the hospital. Luckily, it was nothing serious and recovery time would be quick. After my boyfriend got home and his parents left, I told him I no longer want their help after today's events. I can manage on my own, even though it'll be hard. He was taken aback and said they've done a lot for us. I said I appreciated it, but they ignored me crying and calling them for 10 minutes after I fell down the stairs. They don't care about me, only the baby. And I was embarrassed I didn't see it sooner. He called his parents to let them know we won't need their help anymore. And his dad said, Is it about today? We really didn't hear her. My boyfriend just told them they're invited to Sunday roast this week, and that's all. I could tell he was not happy about my decision, but he said he went along with it because I'm the mother. Fast forward to Sunday, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are guests as well. Sister-in-law has a 3-year-old and is totally on my side, but brother-in-law is not. He told me to be grateful for his parents' support as they're significantly more well off than my parents and paid for many newborn/infant expenses and plan to pay for many more as the baby grows. Since then, Deborah keeps calling, asking if we need any help, and says she feels awful for not seeing the both of you and that she misses the baby. Am I the asshole for not wanting them to help me in my day of life? Okay, I'm going to not read the edits yet because the edits usually waive our decision on this. You want to go first?
Well, I don't see like how they don't hear someone screaming for help. You know, like honestly, like yeah, okay, you can hear a baby, but it's like you're going to hear someone falling down the stairs. You're going to hear someone screaming for help. Like even if a baby is crying, you're going to hear someone else too. You know?
Yeah.
Like even if one of them didn't hear her, one of them most likely would have. You know? And it's like, was the baby crying like the entire 10 minutes? Was the baby screaming? Could they not calm the baby down?
Right.
Like was the baby like literally screaming like blood curdling screams for like the entire 10 minutes that they couldn't hear her? Was she like an annoyance to them? Like why would they leave her screaming like that? What did they think that she wanted?
Right.
Yeah, like, would they like not even go look to see? Like honestly, like
right.
so it's like they have to have wondered, you know, like why would she have been screaming like that? To at least go and look to see, you know. And so it's like it took her how long to at least pull herself up and get to a couch. And then it says like after an hour, her arm was swelling up to the point that they took her to a hospital.
Right.
To see if it was broken. So, I mean, and it says that she was crying and, you know, calling for them and stuff like so. I mean, this is on them. And it even says like the sister-in-law, which is their daughter, you know, her side, you know. So it's like she has a kid and she's taking, she's taking her side here. So clearly she gets that, you know, there's no way that the baby was crying for like long enough for them to have not realized, you know, and that there has to be something going on to where they didn't come. And there has to be some other reason other than we were with the baby.
Right.
You know, there has to be something other than that because there's no, you know, a baby isn't going to be screaming for, you know,
10 minutes.
Yeah. You know, it's like you're not going to be left there for that long. It's like
Right.
there's no way because the daughter is probably sitting there like, no, I would have heard her.
Right.
You know, you should have
Yeah.
been able to hear her.
Yeah, because how big is this house? I mean,
Yeah. You know,
it
it's like
doesn't sound like they live in like a mansion or anything. So
no. And so it's like you should have been able to hear her. And
yeah,
so she's probably thinking like, how many people have I heard over my kid crying?
right,
How many things have I heard over my kid crying? How many things can I hear over my child? And so she's probably like, I've heard my husband calling me over this kid. I've heard, you know, like how many things have I heard over my kid crying? So this is
right,
making sense. You know,
yeah,
she's probably like, I've heard my husband calling me from downstairs when this kid has been crying. And so she's like, no, that doesn't make any
yeah.
sense at all.
And even still, if they were fussing over the baby, both of them don't need to fuss over the baby. One of them could have went and checked on her. So
That's the point. It's like it doesn't take two people to figure out why a newborn baby is crying. And so it's like one of them could have looked at it and been like, okay, what does this baby need? And,
right,
and it shouldn't take two people to get a baby to stop crying.
yeah,
And so if it needed a diaper change, you change the diaper. If it needed a bottle, you give it a bottle. And so it should not be screaming its lungs out for 10 whole minutes. If there's somebody with it, you know, a newborn baby will stop crying as soon as it gets picked up, most likely.
yeah.
And like in most cases, you pick a newborn baby up, it stops crying.
Well, to be fair, it's 7-month-old, but still, I mean, most of the time, unless this baby has colic and is just uncomfortable, it it should have been soothed before 10 minutes.
Yeah. And like, well, by 7 months, you know, it's like they should know like what the baby wants,
Yeah.
you know?
So, yes. So initially, I'm going to say that you're not the asshole for asking them not to come back. So let's read the edits and then we'll go on to comments.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, edit. Was the baby crying loudly enough that there was a possibility they didn't hear you? No way. The baby stopped crying after 10 seconds, and the stairs are like 2 meters from the living room. There's absolutely zero way they couldn't have heard me. I scream as I fell. 2, the general noise of someone falling, including books falling as well as plates breaking. 3, me crying and shouting for help. I fell at the top of the stairs and fell all the way down. This wasn't a misstep. This wasn't a misstep and a bum shuffled down that hurt my pelvic bone. I fully fell down the stairs and cracked the banister. No way they didn't hear. The baby also started crying after the initial smack after I hit the ground.
Yeah, so her falling down the stairs made the baby cry, most likely.
Yeah.
Like the sound of her falling down the stairs scared the baby.
Yeah. So definitely the in-laws are the asshole in this situation. So
Because this sounds like they completely ignored, you know, the sound of her falling down the stairs and just focused on the kid.
yeah. Not the asshole. You're the only one who knows the layout of your home, the time frame of the crying and the noise, and how everyone reacted. I can't imagine that upon hearing thumps and screams, they would rush to a baby who is fine, and for the next 10 minutes they didn't bother to call out for you or to investigate where the noise came from. While they may have not intentionally ignored you, while they may not have intentionally ignored you, they displayed a lack of care for you and weirdly for themselves. If I hear a big noise, I'm looking around and I'm certainly yelling for anyone else who would be home, both to make sure they are okay, but also to make sure we aren't being robbed or something is wrong. My dad drops a pot on the floor once a day, and we still yell, "You okay?" Even though we know exactly what the man did.
Yep.
And you know what? It doesn't matter if they want to help or if they have given you a ton of money and stuff. You aren't going no contact with them, and you aren't keeping them from the baby. You just don't want them around every day. Your feelings are hurt and you don't want to rely on them in the same way. I might agree with your brother-in-law if you were fully not speaking to them, but you are just scaling back their involvement, and that is fine.
She doesn't feel safe with them around. I wouldn't either.
Right.
Like they showed that, she can't trust them if anything happens to her. I wouldn't feel safe around them either.
Not the asshole. They heard you and are gaslighting you as a MF. Thank your lucky stars you're not married to this guy because his family calls the shots. Brother-in-law's comment about them being better off worrying, and I'd be wary of financial abuse. I hope you have your own job and finances because anyone that holds money over your head can't be a good thing.
Do they
I'm
know
glad
letters
you have
stand
family.
for?
Huh?
Do they know what those letters stand for?
What?
It says, "Thank your lucky stars you're not married to that guy." Do they know what those letters stand for?
Well, but she says at the very beginning it says boyfriend. So I don't know, because at the very beginning of the thing she said,
maybe they're. Well, did she say boyfriend? Like, did the OP say?
Yes, in the article at the very beginning she said boyfriend. She said her and her boyfriend have a 7-month-old baby.
So why is she saying like BIL and?
I think it's just easier than saying boyfriend's parents or stuff like that. So I think it's just easier to use the initials.
No, it's really not, because it's an entirely.
We'll scroll back up right here. She says, I 21 female have a 7-month-old son with my boyfriend. But then she goes on, she does use mother-in-law, father-in-law. She uses the in-laws, but she specifically says boyfriend.
It's so fucking confusing.
It sounds dramatic, but it's possible they wouldn't have been upset if the OP never got up again. It doesn't take two people to look after a fussing baby. They could have easily checked, and there is no way they didn't hear. It's only once the OP recovers enough to be in the same room do they respond to her at all. They were hoping if they left the OP long enough, it'd be too late. A terrible fall. We did everything we could. We can take care of the baby for you now. Not the asshole, and take care of yourself. So yeah.
Seriously, it's like, if she would have died, what would they have done,
Exactly what that person said. We did everything we could. We didn't even hear her, and we just found her like that, and we did everything we could to save her. Oh.
People kill me, man. Kill each other.
Yeah.
It's like, and their freaking son is like, what are you gonna do if they don't give you money anymore? It's like, I don't think she really cares.
I would. I'd be like, oh well, toodaloo.
At least I'll be alive, bitch. Because, I mean, seriously, it's like, is that what they're trying to do? Is like just have a baby and that's it? Like, damn.
Yeah. We got about 15 more minutes until the overnight thing starts.
Okay.
I would say we could just start a new live and do that, but they're going to be live, so I don't know how well the pauses and crap would work with that. And it wouldn't be that long because I'm pretty sure we're going to dinner. I'll probably have to take my earbuds to dinner so I can listen. So we could do either one more on the asshole, or we could just chit chat for 15 minutes. Or I knew it was going to be a quick one today because of that. I almost said we could start earlier, but I don't know if I could have done 6 hours of Am I the Asshole?
I don't know. Some of these aren't that bad, but then there's some where it's just kind of like, as soon as you start reading, it's like, dude, I know where I'm going.
Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know, maybe there's another thread because like the one that Charlotte, was her name Charlotte Dobry?
Yeah.
The ones she does are like hilarious, and well, not all of them are hilarious, but most of the time it's like you're not the asshole. But
well, they're probably picked through.
Probably she probably has a staff that picks them.
They're picked through.
Maybe one day I'll have a staff that can be like, I'll be like, hey, I'm doing an Am I the Asshole? I need you to find the best ones. Send them to me. Cause I like the blind reacting, but some of them I think if I would have researched them, some of them we wouldn't have done at all. But then it takes away from the whole blind reacting thing. This weekend, Saturday, I'm doing a lot of finishing baking, cooking a birthday cake for my niece, pasta salad, getting the baked bean stuff in one area. So all I have to do is throw it together Sunday morning. And Sunday, I'm going to my dad's house for cookout with my brother and them. Then we're going to go check into our hotel. And I think we're going to go down downtown Disney to pick up something. And then we're going back to the hotel. And then Monday, we're going to Hollywood Studios. So that's my weekend. What about you, Crystal? What are you doing? Packing?
I don't know. I gotta work.
And then packing?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I come and I have to pack your whole darn house, I'm throwing it all away.
My ass is gonna get thrown away.
It's all going in the trash. Oh.
It's not helping that I don't have a date because I don't want to pack my entire house up if I'm not moving until like next year.
I understand, but you can start going through stuff you know you're not gonna want, like stuff you're gonna just throw away anyway. You could go ahead and start throwing stuff away every week, filling that trash can up. Y'all mean?
Yeah.
Everyone sucks. Oh, I love how they give us the ESH. Everyone sucks here. That would have been the one for that one where we said they were both the assholes.
Yeah.
My son and his dad will be hunting tomorrow, and I'm working, and I'm watching Little Man. I don't know if it's US Reddit or not. I just typed in "Am I the Asshole" in Google and hit the first Reddit one I found. Yep, they usually are around that age. Although apparently I'm not supposed to comment on stuff like that.
Comment on stuff like what?
That has to pertain with children.
Who said that?
Someone on Facebook, they asked for advice and I gave advice and they told me I shouldn't stick my nose where it doesn't belong because I don't know anything. I don't have kids. So yeah, it was Reddit.
You've been around kids. I mean, we know what kids are like.
Yeah. Been around. I don't know. Some people just it irritated me. It's like, you wouldn't know, you're not a mother. Okay. I didn't realize you had to be a mother to take care of a child. Because I used to babysit all the time. I've had people that would just randomly come and drop their kids off with me and go away for a day or so.
Yeah, like my parents practically raised my nieces, so I know like what kids are like, you know? Like I know from my nieces, you know, the like what little kids are like.
Yeah. It just kind of irritated me when they said that. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I can have an opinion just because I don't have kids. I can have an opinion on what the person is asking. And it was someone, not the person that asked the question. It was someone completely that I don't even know. So I'm trying to figure out how they even know I have kids. if I have kids or not. Like, did you like go stalking my Facebook profile and realize that those weren't my children, that they're my niece and nephews? Like,
I did psychology and like I took psychology classes in college too. So it's like I have an understanding of basic psychology of like children and stuff like that. And so it's like if I say anything about like when a child starts forming memories and stuff like that, it's because I learned it in school.
Yeah, I took psychology, sociology, all the ologies. I took all of those. So
yeah, I did.
We were in the same sociology class. So
yeah, like I was doing like sociology and stuff like that too. So it's like because you know they talk about how children don't really start forming memories until like the ages of like 3 and 4. You know, that's when a child will really start remembering stuff. And so it's like you see these people that go to Disney with their kids and are like 1 years old, and it's like they're not going to remember it.
yeah, I could see if you were going with older kids as well, but just taking a 1-year-old. I mean, I could see like if you were an annual pass member and just going to get photo ops and stuff, but just paying out of pocket to go and do nothing because they're not going to remember, and you can only ride like maybe 4 things with them. So really the only thing you're going to be doing is watching parades and meeting characters if you go with
what bothers me is like if they have that little sticker on them, it's my birthday, and it's like, oh my god, you took your kid to Disney for their birthday. Like, are you serious? Like, why?
Yeah.
I was like, no, they're not going to remember that. You could have taken them you could have done something with them. Like,
again, it'd be different if it was like a family trip and it just happened to fall on their birthday, but there were older kids too. So that would be fine, getting them a button that says it's my birthday. But to just take them by themselves, they're not going to remember. They're not going to be able to do anything. So
like, dude, take them to like, you know, like you might as well take them to McDonald's and buy them a freaking Happy Meal. Like, Jesus Christ, they're not gonna remember.
I always said if I had kids and I had an annual pass, I'd go every year and get a picture with Mickey, you know, for their birthday, you know. But that's like I have an annual pass, so I'm already spending the money.
It's not that big of a deal,
right? And it's specific. I want a picture with Mickey every year, so that you know, watch them grow with Mickey, basically, sort of situation. But I'm not gonna go and like spend all day there and like I said, I'll probably go get the photo ops and leave. because I have an annual pass at that point, and not a big deal. But
it's like these people that throw a big fit or whatever because they want to have like these perfect pictures with the kid with the cake or whatever. It's just smashing their face in it. It's like they're not going to remember that anyway.
Yeah.
It's like all they're going to have is the picture that you're taking. Like they're not going to remember that day at all. You know, and it's like, oh my god, it got ruined. You ruined everything. It's like, dude, they don't remember. They're not going to remember a birthday until they're like 4 years old, so it's fine.
Yeah. And even 4-year-olds pushing it a little.
Yeah. It's like nothing. They're not going to make a memory until they're like 4, at least 3 to 4 years old. So you're fine. You're fine. You're not ruining their life or anything. It's fine. If nothing went as planned, it's fine. The only one who knows is you.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember Christmas at 4 years old, but I can't tell you anything that happened before that Christmas at 4 years old.
Yeah, it's like, it's going to be like the bigger holidays and stuff like that that's going to be remembered because it's, it's like it's a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's going to be remembered. And then when you get into like 5 and 6, and that's when the memories really start kicking in. And so it's like, you don't have to have kids to know, like, it's like, people are stupid. That's my take. That's my take on it. It's just people are stupid.
Yeah. I don't, for one, it's rude to tell someone they shouldn't have an opinion on something just because they don't have kids.
Yeah.
For one, you don't know why I don't have children. So maybe, it could be I don't want kids. Maybe
even people that have kids don't really understand kids.
And that's why this person was coming to people for advice, because she didn't know what to do in the situation. And it's like,
yeah. And it's like people that have kids fuck up kids. So
yeah.
It's like, I don't see why having a kid makes you the authority on the situation. It's like people that have kids ask for advice. So it's like, why does having a kid make you the expert? I mean,
I don't know. I know that I'll probably never ask people for advice. If I had kids, if I ever, because it's never going to happen. So if I had kids, I don't think I would ever ask people for advice. For one, my parenting technique is way different from anything parents do today, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to kneel down in front of my child and softly talk to them when they're acting like a little asshole.
I don't understand how people can do that. I really don't.
Apparently my parents abused me because I got spanked as a child.
Oh, I know. I've heard about that.
That's just something that everyone's going to have to agree to disagree on, because there's a fine line between spanking a child and beating a child.
Mm-hmm.
I never got beat.
No.
A spanking, yes, but beat, no. So, and I tried to explain that to someone, and they're going, "That's abuse." Blah blah blah. I'm just like, so, but according to you, being yelled at as a child is abuse as well. So I guess I was just abused all over the place, because I definitely got yelled at as a child. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like the way they're pushing things. Like, they're basically saying the way we grew up is wrong. The way our parents grew up is wrong. Basically parenting for the last thousands of years is all wrong. All wrong.
Yeah, but then you get these kids that have never heard the word no or anything like that.
And they're little fucking assholes. They are the assholes.
Yeah. It's like they're all over the internet acting like assholes.
Yeah, and they're privileged, and they don't know. Yeah. And they expect everything to be given to them in life, and
they're entitled little assholes. And then there's these videos of them popping up on YouTube everywhere, and they're getting arrested and they're getting tased, and they're the funniest things ever. Because they're acting like entitled little assholes because they've never heard the word no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not Neanderthals. We were told no. We got spanked if we messed up.
Yeah.
We were taught to respect authority. We were taught that if someone told us no, we listened to it.
Yeah.
But these kids, they weren't told no. They weren't smacked on the hand. They weren't smacked on the butt or anything. Their parents raised them to be the ones who told the parents,
They weren't popped in the mouth for talking back.
So these kids, they told their parents how to, what's what. And so they get in front of a police officer. Like, I saw a video of a girl kicking a police officer in the nuts, like 2 or 3 times. It was like a wedding party or something.
And that's an assault. So
yeah, exactly. And I think it was like a wedding party, and they got into a fight, and the police were called. And this girl kicked the police officer in the nuts like 2 or 3 times. Another girl got yanked down and she got knocked out. And they were like, "Oh my God, you knocked her out." And I was like, yeah, she was going for his gun. They showed like 2 or 3 different angles of it. But like they were on Twitter, like people on Twitter were going off about how she got knocked out. They showed a different angle, and she'd been going for his gun. And so, yeah, she got pulled back and knocked out. Because she was going for the gun. Like, what would she have done if she'd gotten the gun? And so, like, why is it so bad that she got knocked out? She deserved to.
Exactly.
And so, I guess it came around, like, all of them had charges pulled on them. Which, they all deserved them. Like, the one girl assaulted that cop, like, 2 or 3 times. Kicked him in the nuts, like, 2 or 3 times. And it's like... He even ended up on the ground at one point because he got knocked over and she kicked him in the nuts when he was down. And it's like, I don't know like what started the fight, because it was just like showing like highlights of the argument that they were all having.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing was like the girl got knocked out and that was it. But like the main part of the thing was to show that she had been going for a cop's gun. And so it was like vindicating like why she was thrown to the ground, because everyone was like, girl gets thrown to the ground by police. And I was like, no, she was going for his gun.
Yeah.
And so it's like, people are just insane. It's time for your little...
It hasn't started yet. I have it pulled up. So they're not started. Comments are going crazy though.
Where are you? Where are you?
Yeah, exactly. Where are they? Where are they? Start. But yeah. So next week, guys, unless Crystal wants to get on here and talk to you guys, there won't be a live next week because my family will be in town. And I'll be spending my time with them. So but the week after, we are going to be doing the supernatural. So we're going to be talking about ghosts and demons and aliens.
We should have done that today. Today's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until after the fact. And then I said...
I didn't realize until last night.
Jesus Christ. It's easy to get hosed tonight. Freaking ad. All right. Let me mute it. I don't know how to... Let me just turn it down. But yeah, so we should have done it today, but then it would have required a lot of research, and I had too much to do this week. So
yeah, it did not even get me until last night.
That's why we did Am I the Asshole? And I just found a picture on the internet. I'm trying to make more thumbnails for us. Also, I want to redo our banner and our thumbnail, our icon, but that's gonna... I'm learning how to use PicMonkey. Once I get it figured out for good, like I'll try better.
I've used Canva. I don't know if you can use Canva or not.
I tried. I don't understand it. PicMonkey seems to be easier for me to understand. It's not free. I pay for it, but it seems like it's easier to work with. So if you want to try making something, go for it. We need a new icon and a new banner. I just found crap off the internet and made it that. So they're not the best. Why does it say oops? Oh, okay. I'm like, what are they doing? Apparently, they brought a bunch of haunted items that was mailed to them, and they're going to open them inside the Warren Museum, which is filled with haunted items. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know how often they're going to do that, though. Damn, they're going to make a lot of money today. Also, if you want to watch, I'm watching overnight. They are doing overnight they're doing a live from the Warren Museum, and they're raising money for Feeding America. And so I forget how many like every dollar equals so many meals. And so they're basically going to keep going as long as donations are coming in. They're going to be staying at the Warren Museum. So they said they could be overnight. They could be there for 2 days, 3 days, a week. So as long as donations continue to pour in, they're going to be there. I would donate, but damn, some of these people put me to shame. Because I'd be like, here's $10 because I'm on a pretty tight budget. But these people are donating 20, 50, 100. If you like paranormal stuff, Michelle, they do paranormal investigating, and they are going to be doing paranormal investigating, I think, starting at midnight, but live paranormal investigating. And until then, they're going to be like doing Q&As and opening packages and stuff like that. I want to go to the Warren Museum, but I don't think it's open to the public anymore. I think they closed it. Let me check. Helps if I can type. Warren Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. I don't think it's open 24 hours a day. I'm pretty sure I heard in one of their things that it's not open to the public anymore. It might have just been for that time because I know they were doing some like renovations and crap.
Oh, little birdie. Aww. Hi, birdie.
Who?
You look at my kitty.
Oh, you're talking to like someone there.
There's a bird on the window, so
I watch a lot of paranormal channels. Overnight's my favorite one, but I also started watching let me find them because I can't ever remember them all. Exploring with Josh is a good one. Sometimes it annoys me how he talks, but I also remembered that he's from like the Northeast and there's so many different accents up there. So I just have to remind myself that not everyone, is Midwest to South, and that, I don't know. But I like his videos. I need to clean up my thing again. Omar Gosh TV, he does paranormal investigations as well. He did like a kind of series called what was it called? Now it's gonna bother me. Alone, Paranormal Edition. So he did like this time around, he did 16 YouTubers, 16 terrifying places. And so basically they went in by themselves to see how long they could last by themselves. Keto. Which one, Omar or Josh?
No.
And then, of course, Overnight is my favorite one. And then there is Sam and Colby. Actually, Sam and Colby are probably my favorite. And then Overnight. Omar. Okay. Omar's a recent find of mine. I found him maybe almost a year ago. And I found him because he has another channel where because he lives, like, he owns a farm, so he takes care of farm animals, and we all know I love farm animals. So and then he like said something about, on my other channel we're going to be investigating blah blah. I'm like, oh my god, he does paranormal. And so then I started watching all his paranormal crap. Okay, so then Sam and Colby are my favorite. Overnight's my second favorite. And then I think that's it. Oh, no, Twin Paranormal. I started watching them after I watched one of Sam and Colby's videos? Or it might have been one of the overnights. I don't remember. But I started watching them. And that's it. Those are the paranormal channels I currently watch. I mean, Shane Dawson used to do paranormal things, but I think he did it as more of a joke thing because he didn't never take it as seriously as the actual paranormal investigators take it. But oh, they're actually in the museum now. And all the lights are off in the museum, except for the one red light that sits over like Annabelle. Oh, nope, they just took that out. So, supposedly, the real Annabelle doll is Raggedy Ann. We all know that. But the Annabelle that they used in the movie supposedly got haunted because you remember that Supernatural episode where like everyone they said stories about that house being haunted, and it made it haunted. It was the first one we saw the ghost. No, it was the second episode of the Ghost Boys.
Ghost Chaser.
Yeah.
Ghost Facer.
Ghost Facers. So it was the second episode of that. And anyway, so they're saying that the Annabelle doll from the movie set kind of got the same thing, and it became haunted. And so now that is in the Warren Museum as well. And supposedly the two dolls talk to each other. I was like, interesting. So, that
is interesting.
Yeah, because I thought maybe they just kind of made that up for the show, but apparently it's a legit thing. Like if enough people think something's haunted, it can become haunted. I don't know. My husband asked me if I wanted to make, I think he said like $170 something thousand a year, and I'm like, doing what? And he's like, apparently there's a town in Montana that is a ghost town, and they need someone to basically live there and give historical tours, just keep an eye on it. And I said, yeah, I could do that. I said, I'd be walking down the street at night going, hey, Jim, hey, Bob, hey, Pete. I'd be like one-on-one with these ghosts.
Like, I could pretend a place is haunted. I mean,
what?
I could pretend a place is haunted and make money off of it. There's no problem with that.
What if it's really haunted, Crystal?
Well, I've heard people talking to me here. So, I mean, if someone wanted to talk to me, then
right.
I would say, what's up?
Right. Like, I'm not really afraid of ghosts.
Depends on the mood that they're in, I guess.
Well, ghosts aren't bad. It's poltergeists and demons. So those are the ones you got to worry about.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I could tour guide if I was going to make money, you know.
Right. $174,000 a year. I'd move in a heartbeat if it was a legit thing. Because I don't know if it's a legit thing or if it's just something someone, you know.
Posted real suckers in.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Because, like, how much you have to spend to buy into it, you know? Like,
right. Do I have to own part of this ghost town? Which I'm not opposed to buying a ghost town, because one of the dudes I used to watch, and I don't remember removing him from my playlist, but apparently I did, because he's not on my playlists anymore, or my subscription list anymore. But it was this dude. He owns a ghost town. I think his channel's called Ghost Town Living, but he owns a ghost town in California called something Gorda.
Yeah, but is it like that one? Because there was that one Supernatural episode where, like, they go, and the whole thing is.
Bye, Michelle. Have a good day.
Bye.
No, what were you saying?
Is it like that one episode of Supernatural where they go, and it's like the Lizzie Borden house or whatever, but it's like all fabricated, and like the whole thing is
the one in Montana that they're supposedly hiring? I don't know. I have no idea.
Like everything is like all off of like a record player and shit, like all the knocks on the door, like all the knocks on the walls and everything, and it's like coming from a speaker and like on the walls and everything. And so it's like, yeah, you buy yourself into this ghost town with like all your savings and everything, and you find out that everything is fake.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if that's how it is or not there, but God, where was Sarah Gordo? Sarah Gordo's the one that guy bought in California. And so I sat there and it's like, I would really love to be able to buy like a ghost town. That would be so fun to be able to. I mean, he's had paranormal investigators, like people saying, hey, I do this, can I come out there? And he's like, sure. And he doesn't influence them or anything. He just tells them the history of it. He doesn't mention anything about hauntings or anything like that, just actual history you can find in history books. And so they do their investigations, and they apparently the bunkhouse is haunted and stuff like that there, but I don't know. He says he doesn't ever play into it. He doesn't ever say, hey, my haunted ghost town. So, but I don't even know if there are ghost towns for sale in Florida. Let's see. Are there ghost towns for sale in Florida. 16 abandoned towns in Florida. Well, let's see, shall we? Can I buy these towns? The town of Hopewell in Hillsborough County. In its heyday, it was known as the Turner Plantation. Well, that's not politically correct anymore.
Nope. Yeah, I came really close to reacting to something. I think it was like last week. There's a person, and they used to be like a bigger part of like the girl world thing or whatever. But they were like, she was dating, like, because I started reacting to like a couple other people, and she used to be dating one of the other people that I reacted to. Like, one of the girls like just recently moved to Oklahoma, and so she used to be dating like one of the girl that just moved to Oklahoma. And I saw on her but she they broke up like over a year or so ago. But anyway, so she's basically fallen out. But she basically like started up a channel and everything after they broke up and everything, and so she like gained like a bunch of subscribers and everything because people want to know like all the tea from the breakup and stuff like that. But she really wasn't using the channel and to her advantage and stuff like that. But here recently she's uploaded a couple of videos and things, and I looked over there because I was gonna see if I wanted her to react to her or not, because she's kind of like lol cow or whatever. And I saw that she had like spirit box stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was listening to it, and I'm just kind of like, there's no way I'm doing it, because I was listening to it and I'm like, this is BS. There's no way. And because I've listened to like spirit box stuff before, and like it's just like some of it is kind of but then this kind of stuff was just kind of like, no. But I think she's like more of a grifter than anything else, and so it's like she cheats the community out of money, and I think that's what she was doing. I think she did it again recently. But anyway, like that spirit box stuff just kind of like, I debated on doing anything with it, and then I didn't do it. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. Like some of it you can kind of hear words, but then there's other times where it sounds like they're putting the words like, like it's not being said, and they're kind of like turning it into what they're captioning it as. And kind of like there's a weird sound, and they're like, Timmy fell down the well, really? That's not what was said, dude. And it's like, and then there was like a weird sound of static, and it's like bitch, and it's like, I did not hear bitch. And in the comments, like, if you're hearing curse words, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of weird. But I don't even know. I don't know. But I haven't gone back to her channel. I probably should have seen if she's still doing that kind of shit. I didn't react to it because it was like over 2 weeks old and everything, and I'm like, nah, man.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end this since we're just chit chatting with each other now.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, all right, guys. We will see you guys on October 27th for the Supernatural episode. So,
Brittany's birthday.
hope to see you then.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.